Today we're talking about the front tuck. We are breaking this thing down. Who, what, when, where, why in the world? Stay with me and I'm going to share all about the front tuck. Hello ladies, and welcome to today's video. I'm really glad you're here because if there's one thing I get a lot of questions about, it is the front tuck. Should I front tuck? How do I front tuck? Why in the world would I want to tuck my shirt in, right? So today we're going to completely break that down. If you're new to my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Kay. I upload videos here every Wednesday, simply encouraging women 50 and above to get dressed for our day. I do believe that we are all influential women. We have people around us who need to hear from us. They need for us to show up in their lives. And when we just put a little extra effort into our appearance, into getting dressed for our day, then we're more likely to show up and make a difference. So I think that is so important. And you know what? I know that you still have so much to offer the people in your life. And so I'm so glad that you have chosen to be here today. I also blog at dressformyday.com, so be sure and join me there and check out my blog there. But let's get going on today's topic, this all-elusive front tuck. You know, it took me a time to really learn how to do this too, and it also took me even longer to figure out why I would want to. So let's talk about that. Why would we front tuck? Why would we tuck even? Now, a front tuck is simply you're going to tuck in the front instead of just everywhere. But let's just talk about tucking in our shirt in general. Why would you ever want to tuck in your shirt? Well, I've come up with at least 4 reasons, and I think they're all really valid. But let's understand that they're not going to be for everybody. We're going to get there. Hang with me. The first reason you might want to front tuck, though, or tuck your shirt in at all, is because it does define the waist. It shows the eye where the waist is. And especially as women, we want to accentuate the waist a little bit. If we want to create that, you know, kind of an hourglass shape, or just pronounce that we are a woman, you know, then I think a front tuck is a great thing because it does show where the waist is. It just presents a little bit more of a feminine look that way. The second thing a front tuck does is it just makes you look more pulled together. I mean, literally, you're more pulled together when you front tuck than when you have on like a tunic top or you just let your top hang out. So that really just elevates your style a little bit. The third reason you might want to front tuck or tuck your shirt in at all is because it just creates visual interest. It just gives the eye something more to look at when it's looking at you, when someone's looking at you. So it creates visual interest. And then the fourth thing, and perhaps the most important thing that the front tuck does, or any tuck at all, is it helps to create those most pleasing proportions. You know, when we are getting dressed, we want to think about the rules of art. In art, we practice what we call the 1/3 and 2/3 proportions. Now, there's all sorts of different terminology for that. Some call it a golden ratio. One of the best, for instances, I think, just to really give you a visual, is with the Eiffel Tower, which is really just a tower, and yet for some reason it is iconic and our eye gravitates toward it. I think the reason the Eiffel Tower is so eye appealing is because it does have that 1/3 base and then the 2/3 are at the top. You see how that just really draws your eye. And we probably even do things with the same thing with photographs, right? When you take a picture, when you're on vacation, you probably have learned to try to create those 1/3 and 2/3 proportions. And we want to do the same thing with our body. We look more pleasing to the eye. There's just something more aesthetically pleasing about an outfit that accentuates maybe 1/3 at the top and 2/3 at the bottom when you're wearing, say, a skirt or pants. Or when you're wearing a dress or you're wearing a column of color, you might have 2/3 at the top and 1/3 at the bottom. Now, the way to do that, especially if you're wearing pants, long pants or even crop pants, or if you are wearing shorts or a skirt, is with a tuck there at the waistline because it defines that waist. It gives you those proportions. Now, the problem with that, though, comes with We don't all have the same proportions, but that is one of the main reasons that you'd want a front tuck. So I just want you to have that under your belt, so to speak, that reason of why would I want to do this. Mainly, honestly, mainly is to create those really pleasing proportions. All right, so now let's talk about when would you want to front tuck. You know, it is really kind of important to, if you possibly can, to front tuck when you are wearing cropped pants. Otherwise, if you're wearing a long shirt and cropped pants, those pants are going to look really short. Like you don't see much pant, right? You see the pant from like the crotch down to the little cropped off hem, and that's just not visually appealing at all. So when you're wearing cropped pants or ankle pants, which are very popular right now, it is kind of important to know how to do a front tuck. Another reason and a when that you would want to do the front tuck is when you are wearing something that hits you just at the best place along your waistline. So for your proportions, and you do need to know your proportions in order to kind of navigate this, and I have a blog post at my blog that tells you how to determine your unique body proportions. So that's linked below in the description box. Be sure to check it out. That's going to be really crucial. But if you are wearing pants or a skirt or shorts where the waistline hits you at the right place, at your optimal place for your waistline, then that's a good time to front tuck, because that's where you want to draw the attention. Also, if you're wearing a shirt or a top that is too long and it goes way beyond that point, then you really do want to front tuck, because it's going to lift that line up to that most pleasing place. So without going into all the different proportions that we could have, if you have balanced proportions and you are wearing a mid-rise or maybe even a high-rise pant or jean, then that's a good time to front tuck. If you have a long torso, but you have shorter legs, then when you are wearing a mid-rise to high-rise jean or shorts or pants, that's a good time for you to front tuck. When you have, if you have a short torso and longer legs, then you would be more prone to want to front tuck when you're wearing a mid to low rise pant. All right, our next question is, who should front tuck? Should you front tuck? Okay, I don't know you, and I don't know your body type or your body shape or your body proportions, but most people probably can do a front tuck. However, if you have that apple shape, that oval shape, then you probably don't want to do a front tuck, because that's just going to draw attention to that part of your body. And instead, you're going to want to do things like create a column of color. You're going to want to wear cascading tops. You're going to want to wear more like tunics and things that fall and drape beautifully over your midsection, but you don't want to draw attention there with a tuck or a belt. But most everybody else, doesn't even matter what body shape, even if you have an H shape, an I shape, you have a hourglass shape, most everybody else, as long as you don't have a protruding stomach, you can do the front tuck. So how do you do a front tuck? Well, that kind of depends on what kind of top you're wearing, and you really can tuck most any top in a front tuck, but it does get a little harder as the fabric gets heftier. So like a winter sweater is a little bit more of a challenge. You do want to be careful not to create a lot of bulge around this area, of course, so a lighter weight fabric is ideal. Here I'm showing you how to do it with the shell that I'm wearing right now. This is just a little sleeveless shell, so it's very thin. It has a nice drape. But because the jeans I'm wearing actually hit me right at the waist, that's where I want to draw the focus anyhow, and I want to create those proportions. I'm just doing a little bit of a front tuck. Now what I like to do a lot of times is you can actually tuck the shirt in all the way around and then just go from the back, start pulling it out, pull it out completely in the back, let it blouse out, and kind of gently pull on around until you're at the front, leave that in, maybe blouse that up just a little bit so it doesn't look like it's all tight. You don't want it to look like a little boy who just tucked his shirt in the front and then went off to play. So you want to look like you've completed the idea, the hack here. So just a little bit of a blousey look in the front. Now here with a t-shirt, I'm showing you that once again, I like to just go ahead and tuck it in all the way around, start pulling it out. This t-shirt has a split hem. So that's sometimes something we run into, right, when you're front tucking and you're like, well, what do I do with this? What do I do with this excess fabric? Sometimes I just fold it under in the front, the little split part there at the side, the split hem. You can just fold that under so that the back hangs out nicely, but the front, you don't see that split thing there. You can also just tuck it in a little bit more to one side and then let it drape over to the side. It doesn't have to be a front tuck. It can be kind of a sideways tuck. So another thing you can do actually is look for cropped tops. Now, I'm not talking about the crop top that your 12-year-old granddaughter wears, okay? I'm not talking about something that's gonna come up and show your midriff. Do not be put off by this, the name crop top. We're talking about tops, t-shirts, they're making them because we're seeing so much more high-rise jeans, high-rise pants. They're making a lot of crop tops. The beauty of this is you can leave this cropped length t-shirt hanging out so it has more of a flowy effect. It's not all tucked in, it's not all tight, it's not drawing attention to your middle, but you're still getting those nice proportions. So that's a great option. So look for those t-shirts in that cropped length. That's really a super thing if you are like me enjoying those high-rise to mid-rise jeans. Now remember, actually, if you are wearing high-rise jeans, especially the super high-rise jeans, you really don't want to have to tuck there. That's kind of too high to tuck. That gives you that Urkel effect, right? So that really is when those cropped tops are ideal. So look for those cropped tops. Here you see me wearing one it's cropped, but it's also got a little ruching or cinched in the front there. So it really creates that nice visual effect, gives you that visual interest, but also gives you the right proportions. So I hope I've answered your questions. If you have additional questions, let me know in the comments below. I will try my best to answer there. I love talking with you there in the comments, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. Give me a thumbs up if you got anything at all out of this, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. Thanks for joining me, ladies. I'll see you later.